Welcome to Healthy Future Vision. I'm grateful to share this moment with you. There are mornings when we swing our legs off the bed, place our feet on the floor, and hear that faint little crack coming from the knee. It's such a small sound, yet it's enough to remind us that time has been quietly walking through our joints for many years. And perhaps anyone over 50 has felt this. One step feels heavier than the day before. One simple twist of the body brings a quick, sharp whisper from the joint, as if it's trying to tell us something. I want to begin this video with a very simple question. How many times has your body tried to speak to you before you truly listened? Our joints, the very things that help us stand, walk, hold our grandkids, or cook a warm dinner, don't fall apart in one day. They wear down slowly, silently, like an old bridge that only starts creaking after decades of carrying the weight of life. And all of us, at some point, have wished for something that could make walking feel lighter again, make stiffness less bothersome, help us worry less when the weather changes. Many of my patients have told me, I just wish there was something natural, no strong medications, no surgery, just something that could help my cartilage feel strong again. The beautiful thing is, nature truly offers gifts like that. Minerals that seem ordinary, yet quietly nourish cartilage, strengthen connective tissues, and help our joints regain their flexibility, much like a skilled craftsman tending to worn wooden slats, so a chair can remain steady for many more years. Today, I want to share those secrets with you. Not overnight miracles, but insights grounded in simple science, in decades of clinical experience with older adults, and in my own observations of how the human body changes as we enter the later chapters of life. Let me tell you the story of 3 minerals and 1 joint care principle that can help make each step of your day feel a little easier again. Shall we begin? When I look back on more than 30 years working in joint health, I often remember the most ordinary moments. A patient settling into the familiar wooden chair in my exam room, placing their worn hands on the table, and quietly sighing, "Doctor, I just want to move the way I used to." That small sentence carries the weight of an entire journey their body has endured. Cartilage, the thin cushion between 2 bones, is like a living diary. It records every step you've taken, every year of hard work, every fall, every twist and strain. And over time, that diary begins to wear out page by page. What has troubled me for years is this question. Is there a way for the body to mend those fragile pages on its own? Is there something natural, steady, subtle, that can help cartilage regain its vitality? The answer, as humbly as science allows me to say it, is this: yes, there are quiet forces in nature that truly help. 1. Magnesium, the quiet craftsman. Inside every cartilage cell, magnesium is like a skilled worker who rarely asks for recognition. Without enough of it, muscles tighten, nerve signals lose rhythm, and most importantly, cartilage cells, the chondrocytes, become sluggish, as if they've lost the energy to build new tissue. For years, I noticed a pattern. Patients with nutrient-poor diets, especially lacking leafy greens, nuts, and beans, often struggled with stiffness and long-lasting fatigue. When they began adding natural sources of magnesium to their daily meals, I wouldn't claim their joints were reborn, but they clearly became more flexible, experienced fewer dull aches, and found it easier to move with comfort. Science explains this simply. Magnesium supports hundreds of enzyme reactions in the body, providing the foundation for collagen production, the core material of cartilage. It also helps regulate calcium, guiding it to the right places and preventing it from settling in soft tissues, something that becomes more common after age 50. In other words, magnesium isn't a miracle cure, but it is the steady rhythm keeper, the foundation every healthy joint quietly relies on. 2. Silica, the invisible thread that ties flexibility and structure together. In my early years of practice, I rarely paid attention to silica. In medical school, this mineral barely received a mention, but one day, I stumbled upon a small study showing increased collagen production in people who consumed natural sources of silica. What fascinated me was that they didn't just see improvements in their skin and hair, their joint connective tissues also became stronger and more resilient. From that moment, I began observing more closely, and sure enough, just as the research suggested, patients who regularly ate oats, cucumbers, and whole grains, foods naturally rich in silicated, to experience less joint dryness and recovered better after long periods of discomfort. Silica acts like an invisible thread, binding collagen fibers together and helping cartilage become not only present, but elastic, load-bearing, and flexible. After 50, when natural collagen production slows down, silica becomes like an old, devoted friend, guiding every fragile collagen strand into the sturdy framework of joint tissue. And perhaps what I appreciate most about silica is this: it doesn't require anything complicated. Sometimes, a simple breakfast of warm oats, a few slices of cucumber, and a spoonful of seeds is enough. 3. Sulfur, the familiar scent of renewal. If you've ever chopped garlic, boiled an egg, or sautéed broccoli, you've already met sulfur. It's an ordinary mineral with an extraordinary role, serving as the architect behind collagen and joint fluid. What first drew my attention to sulfur were patients telling me that their joints felt lighter on days they ate cruciferous vegetables or eggs. At first I thought it was just coincidence, but over time, more and more scientific evidence confirmed that sulfur is essential for forming the tiny internal links within collagen, those little bridges that make cartilage durable. Sulfur also contributes to glutathione, one of the body's most powerful antioxidants, which protects joint tissues from the wear and tear of time. I don't see sulfur as a miracle cure, but it is the substance that keeps things running smoothly, the way a touch of oil can quiet an old door hinge. Just a bit and suddenly the movement feels easier, quieter, less strained. 4. Vitamin D3 and K2, the duo that guides calcium to the right place. I include this factor because, in real clinical practice, deficiencies in D3 and K2 are extremely common among Americans over 50. The body doesn't absorb calcium just to strengthen bones. Calcium also plays a part in smooth joint function, but without enough D3, the door opener that allows calcium into the bloodstream, and K2, the guide that directs calcium into the bones, calcium tends to wander into the wrong places, blood vessel walls, tendons, or the tissues around the joints. This leads to calcification, leaving joints stiffer and more painful. When my older patients begin getting D3 from morning sunlight and K2 from foods like eggs, cheese, or natto, they often tell me their bodies feel lighter. That movement no longer feels quite as heavy or restrictive. To me, D3 and K2 are like a pair of kind, quiet housekeepers maintaining order in the home of your joints, making sure every nutrient ends up exactly where it belongs. 5. Heat-cold cycling, reviving circulation. Nourishing repair. Many people look for foods or minerals to repair their joints, but there's another factor just as important: circulation. For a joint to heal, nutrients must actually reach it, and circulation is the only road they can travel. When you apply gentle heat to a sore joint, blood vessels open and more oxygen flows in. When you follow with cold, the vessels constrict, helping calm inflammation. Repeat this cycle a few times, and the movement of nutrients through the joint becomes rhythmic and steady, like watering an aging garden in a slow, deliberate pattern. I've guided hundreds of patients through this simple nightly practice. Not everyone experiences immediate change, but most feel their joints becoming warmer, softer, and easier to move by the next morning. Sometimes, the biggest transformations begin with the smallest acts. A few words from the heart for you, who are walking through the second half of life. At this age, we're no longer chasing perfection. We're searching for comfort, gentleness, and a kind of quiet appreciation for the body that has carried us through so many years. These minerals, magnesium, silica, sulfur, vitamin D3, K2, along with the warm and cold technique, are not magic cures, but they are steady companions. If you treat your body with patience, it will respond with relief, with smoother steps, with mornings that greet you with fewer little crackling sounds. Your joints don't need miracles. They only need a chance, an honest chance, to be cared for the right way. And that journey begins the moment you choose to listen to them with your whole heart. As we reach the end of today's video, I want you to take one slow breath and listen to your body again. The faint sounds in your joints, the heaviness in your legs when you stand, or that familiar morning stiffness. None of these are signs of weakness. They are reminders that your body has walked beside you through a long and remarkable life. And just like an old friend, it needs thoughtful care to continue walking with you for many years to come. I don't expect you to remember every mineral or technique I mentioned. What truly matters, and what I hope you carry with you, is the understanding that you still have the power to shape the quality of your movement, whether you're 50, 60, or well beyond. Small things: a nourishing meal, a glass of mineral-rich water, a few minutes of warm-cold cycling can create real change. The miracle of the human body is that it never stops trying to heal itself. It only asks for what it has always needed: a little gentle nourishment, a little careful attention, and a little patience. So if your joints feel heavy today, don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning of a new journey, one where each lighter step becomes a gift you give yourself. Thank you for staying with me until the end. If these words resonate with you, let me know. Your feedback is what inspires me to keep sharing healing stories for those who are walking through the later chapters of life. May you wake up tomorrow with softer, more comfortable joints, and with the hope that your body still holds an incredible capacity to recover.